So, coming up with an idea. Lots of different ways to approach this. Every artist is a little bit different. And it's actually common to come up with an idea and follow it for a little bit and come to the realization that that's not very good or really needs to be changed, or you just need to park it for a while. And all of those things are fine. For me, I do get, as I get older, I get ideas that are a little more formed early on, I think, and maybe that's just comes with practice and making more and more work all the time. My biggest piece of advice, based on something that's worked for me, is to really pay attention, not just looking at art and looking at other art and art that's very similar to yours, but just paying attention to things around you, whether it's architecture or environment or vehicles or designs of products or movies or books. Just pay attention, because when you see something that you think is interesting, no matter what it is, make a note of it. Take a picture with your phone. Just write something down. If you hear somebody say something interesting or ridiculous in person or in a movie, try to capture it. That really works for me. Just becomes this catalog of ideas and reference. Gives me something to draw on later. As I mentioned in the intro, I like to have lots of stuff around, because that is a way that I work that is very effective for me. And so one of the ways that I will generate ideas, and maybe it's just looking through titles or phrases, is just by putting stuff together, looking at stuff side by side in some sort of relationship. So a few things off the bench that haven't really gone anywhere. This idea of someone riding a dinosaur with a bit of a kind of mechanical cannon on it. It's not a terribly original idea, but I do like the scale relationship. Has that kind of Dinotopia feel of the human-dinosaur interaction. Say this idea hasn't actually gone anywhere. This model has been sitting just like this for about a year, but it sometimes leads to other ideas, and we'll see if there's a way to resurrect that later. In a similar way, this is again something that's been on the bench for a while. So it's a little tank model and some droid robot legs, and then the little figures. So that composition, that structure, again, is kind of interesting. I'll probably go back to this at some point, but that's really common for me to use that as a way to start ideas. So the piece that I'm going to be working on for this video starts with this model that you'll see here. Been purchasing these models on and off for a while. I really like these spheres. Probably have 3 or 4 pieces that have some version of this little sphere with the weird face on it, and then the container, the dome. Bought it at IKEA. Thought it was an interesting way to display, a slightly different format than what I've used to, and that was the start. How can that sphere fit in that kind of glass dome, tall and thin? Where could that go? So that's really the spark. And so I think what we'll do now is thinking about those known parts. We'll move on to a little bit of drawing and try a few different relationships and a few different scenarios through drawing before we actually start putting stuff together.